What's up, everybody? I am DJ Kazzeo, and welcome to Talkin All That Kazz. Now, what is Talkin All That Kazz? Real quick, breaking it down, before I even get to that, let me tell you this. You want to know anything, you want to connect with me on social media, go to this address right here, www.djkazzeo.com, alright? All my stuff's up there. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff is up there, okay? Now, for 27 years, over 27 years, I've been hosting a weekly radio show here at 90.9 FM KHTC in Salinas, California. Every one of the shows I've ever done that's in my library is now online. You can go to this address right here, mixcloud.com/DJ_Kazzeo to hear all the shows, all the music, all the interviews, everything. Okay? Now, speaking of interviews, maybe you don't have the time to go to Mixcloud and listen to the full shows, because there's thousands of hours of stuff to listen to. If that's the case, this is what Talkin All That Kazz is for. I've isolated all the interviews, taken the interview clips, put them in video form, and I'm posting them up here on YouTube for you guys to check out in a shorter time, alright? So you can just go, pick out whatever interview you want to check out, and here it is, okay? So, without further ado, let's see what I got in store for you this time around.
All right, back in the place right here. As I was saying, we are joined by a special guest tonight. Bringing her to the show for the first time. I probably started hearing her name about a year, maybe a year and a half ago. Tiye Phoenix joins us tonight. What's going on, Ty?
Hey, what's going on, Kazzeo?
How are you?
I'm great.
You know, like I was just saying right there, you know, probably about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, I really started seeing your name everywhere. Like, you know, this song featuring Tiye Phoenix on this song, Tiye Phoenix on that song. So, I mean, break it down for me. Give me, like, the background of yourself and, you know, where you're coming out of and all that good stuff.
Well, I'm based in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. I live in New Jersey, but I've been many different places, and all of those places have played a very key role in just me, just my art, me as a person. And because I was born in Baltimore, mm-hmm. and but I've been in Cali. I've been a lot of different places. So all that has played a role in just how I see the world and how it shows up, you know, in my art as an MC, you know, as a songwriter, as an artist, all together. And I've been committed to to music and just art, hip hop primarily through the medium of hip hop. But you know, there's other elements that, you know, swirl into that mixture, that configuration. You know, we got a little soul, you know, R&B. You know, you hear different elements.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I've been, I would say overall, just committed to being an artist. You know, for at least 2 decades. I've been really just holding the torch.
So when you, how old were you when you relocated from Baltimore to New Jersey?
I've been in New Jersey for maybe about 15 years. So, that was like 2000, because I was actually on Raucous Records.
Okay.
People who, you know, who
okay.
are committed underground hip-hop enthusiasts. So around that time, 2000, you know, the golden era, what people refer to as the golden era of hip-hop. Like, I came into the New York tri-state around that time.
Okay, I got you. So it's weird because, like, you know, I feel bad now. You saying you were signed to Raucous. I mean, I used to get all the Raucous product, and I honestly, you know, for whatever reason, the name didn't like resonate with me and register to me until like a couple of years ago. So
yeah,
you know, talk about some of the history on Raucous.
Well, I didn't release an album on Raucous. I ended up releasing an album on Baby Grand Records.
Okay.
Shortly, you know, later. But there were other releases, you know, in between that time. But I was on a few projects that came out on Raucous, you know, featured, you know, as an artist. You know, Reflection Eternal on that album. Train of Thought, that album.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, at the time, I did some features for fellow label mates, and I was just really just in a space of cultivation at that time. So no official like full release came out. So maybe that's why you don't recall. I think there may have been some white labels and things like that, but yeah,
so it was
okay.
it was kind of like a training ground type thing.
Yeah, which life is, I feel like we're always in a training ground.
Right.
Like it just never stops,
That's
but
true.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
definitely,
true.
like it was. It was. And so the fact that you said you don't recall, seeing my name at that time, it's totally fine. It wouldn't have been in bold print at that time.
Right.
It wouldn't have.
Right. Right. So, coming from that environment, and recently there was the big scandal that came out. I think it was it Def Jux or Baby Grand, or it was one of those labels where there was a lot of accusations of sexual misconduct and that kind of stuff. Was that any of the stuff that was happening around you at that time?
For some reason, I don't recall. It's funny. I wasn't expecting you to say sexual misconduct. I thought you were going to say like scandals as far as misplacement or misappropriation of funds or monies or things. I thought you were going to say something along that line.
No. I was going to the heart of the matter because there was accusations that there were things happening that shouldn't have been happening, and not just money wise, as far as like relationship wise.
And this was, you said Def Jux?
I can't remember if it was Def Jux or Baby Grand or like one of those those type of labels in that area.
The interesting thing is it does not ring a bell.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. Like, who knows what it was on my mind at the time? That just totally missed me. But no, I mean, and now that you say that, I will just do my independent research just to satisfy my curiosity as to what this issue was at the time. But no, I don't recall anything.
Yeah, I think it may have been a little bit more recent, like within the last 5-6 years or something.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
you probably you were lucky enough to miss any of that kind of nonsense.
Exactly.
But so talk to me about the current project that you got out now.
Okay, it's the Glow EP. GLOW is an acronym for Guide to Leaving the Old World. So there's just various gems and little strategic lines and pieces all throughout the album that are assembled in the song, but it wasn't intentional. It was kind of a thing where I just listened back to the project when it was done, and I heard this pervasive theme going throughout the song, like weaving through all the verses in the song, and it was just, it spoke to this idea of a new world coming into being and an old world exiting. So, everyone may have their different views of exactly what's unfolding day to day in the world, but you can't deny that there's been a lot of changes and a lot of things that are rapidly transforming, on a global level, and maybe in your individual communities. Obviously, I mean, we're so-called in a pandemic, right? So,
right. I mean, 2020 has just been a dumpster fire. It's just been madness. But so I know you're working with Bizarro. How do you catch up with Bizarro?
I've known Bizarro for quite some time. As a matter of fact, prior to the Glow EP, which is the most recent project I released an album at the top of the year called The Master's Program in January. So right after I released The Master's Program,
right,
the pandemic happened.
Right.
I have a song on the album called Nobody's Safe, featuring the legendary Artifact crew.
Oh, nice.
And we were gonna shoot a video, and there was just an issue with the social distancing had just kind of come into effect, so there were safety concerns and things like that. I mean, this was when the pandemic was fresh, like everything had just hit, so we were still learning a lot about COVID-19 statistics. It was at the top of the year. Right. So with the entire situation that came out of COVID and the stay home order and just everything, that really went into effect at that time, I didn't get a chance to really address the master's program in the way that I wanted to in terms of visual representation, videos and things like that.
Right.
So,
right.
But the project is still very great, and Bizarro produced a song on that project called Take It Serious. So, yeah.
Exactly. See, that's the one thing is like I've always been a B-side wins type kind of guy. So that's what I was gonna get into as soon as we're done talking to you here. I was gonna get into Take It Serious because I think that's a real hot one right there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So luckily, I mean, you could kind of look at it like. You put out the album at the beginning of the year. The pandemic happens, shuts everything down. It kind of while you're kind of limited to what you can do as far as like outwards, you can you spend the year obviously recording and writing and getting a lot of stuff tightened up, and then you can just maybe at the beginning of the next year. 2021, you can do a kind of like a relaunch with the album and maybe start pushing it again. And it's because people were in pandemic mode, people didn't hear it, so it's still fresh to them.
That's a great idea, definitely.
Because it's a shame to like have that ready and all these ideas for it, and then the whole year turns into garbage, and you can't really do anything with it. It's a shame to like waste all that time you put into it making it. You can still it's delayed, but you can still get to it.
Absolutely, I definitely have gotten amazing responses and just feedback for the master's program. It actually won Project of the Year award for a very respected hip hop blog called Heritage Hip Hop.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, it's definitely it didn't go by the wayside. And as a matter of fact, the Glow EP, the accolades and the great response that I'm getting for that, it's trickling back into the master's program.
See, now that I know that, when I write the scripts out for the drops, that I'm gonna send out to Sharif and Bizarro, and hopefully, if you have time to record some drops, I'm gonna include, where it says, when you introduce yourself, say the award-winning Tiye Phoenix, and you're listening to. Watch, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it.
Oh.
So, hey, before I let you go, and before we jump in to Take It Serious,
okay.
Tell people how they can catch up with you on social media.
Okay, Instagram / Tiye Phoenix, and it's spelled TIYE, and then PHOENIX, no spaces, underscores, or anything like that. I'm primarily on Instagram. I have a Facebook page with the same address, the same / Tiye Phoenix. Bandcamp, TiyePhoenix.bandcamp.com if you want to purchase the music, and then of course it's on all the other digital platforms as well. So iTunes, Tidal, it's everywhere.
All those good places. And do you do Twitter at all, or you beyond that?
I do have a Twitter. Yes, I actually have an Instagram, a Facebook, and a Twitter. I spend the majority of my time on Instagram between the three of those apps, but I do check the Twitter, and I'm active on there.
Okay.
Well.
Okay. Just gotta make sure you gotta touch every base. Otherwise the home run don't count. You know. Well, hey, I really appreciate you taking a couple minutes to call in and talk to me tonight. I really would hope once all the madness of this year gets sorted out and another project is ready, I can get you back on and we can do a little bit longer interview and talk a little bit more in depth about the project and various other things, because I know you address a lot of civic issues in your music as well, so we could sit down and talk about some of that stuff too.
Oh yeah, definitely. That would be great. I would love to, and I'm so honored that you had me on tonight.
No, all the honor was on this side. It was all on this side. So we're gonna jump in. I'm gonna jump into Take It Serious right now, produced by Bizarro. And once again, thank you, Tiye Phoenix, for calling in tonight. And we'll talk soon. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, peace.
Take care.